Hello, everyone. So I'm just here talking about today's main article on Warhammer Community. Now, I'm generally not one who goes over every single article that comes out because realistically, I just can't keep up with literally everything that comes out on any given day. Like, there's dozens, or there could be like not dozens, but lots of articles. Lots of leaks, but I wanted to really talk about today because this is really exciting. So we got the first previews for the new Generals Handbook out today, and apparently, we're going to be moving away from Thondia to its neighboring. Well, I guess neighboring is not a right word. We are in Gur, but I guess it's rival continent Galat, the Splintered Lands, just next to it. So, due to that, we're going to be moving to more of like I guess a tunnel fighting theme, which is actually pretty cool. So instead of fighting on like open plains, I guess the idea is that we the weather starts to pick up, gets really bad, so we dive underground into the tunnel network. But so do our enemies, so we have to fight them. So that's pretty cool. So just to get into it, there's going to be a new universal special rule that applies to all infantry. Well, not all infantry. It's called Masters of the Splintered Land, and essentially what it means is that if you have infantry with like four or less wounds, they gain the Galatian veterans keyword. So this is you probably remember that you probably maybe not remember, but seen some of those like rumors that were going around like a day or like the last couple days. Essentially, they were more accurate than I anticipated, but like most rumors, a lot of it was just exaggerations, a lot and wishful thinking. So this is probably where some of those rumors came in, the Galatian veteran. So basically, it just gives you a keyword. But the good thing about the keyword is essentially it gives you a follow-up ability. So technically, and it applies to all battle line. It says here it applies to all your battle line, but technically it has to be like four or less. So like the big things, like dragon ogres and Kurnoth hunters. I guess they wouldn't get it. I guess the theme is they're too big to really maneuver and underground easily. So I guess that's the whole idea. So anyway, one of the things this gets you is that each battle round, the player going second gets to pick an objective to be the proving grounds, and basically, I think this is like basically the new spin on the whole like remove an objective. Well, basically now in the third battle round, whoever goes second picks one to become the proving ground. So what is proving ground? So essentially, what happens is that you pick for at the beginning of the third battle round, whoever goes second picks one objective to be the proving ground, um, and it can't be picked as the proving ground more than once per battle for each objective on the table. And basically, what happens is now only models with the Galatian veterans keyword can contest that objective marked as proving ground. So this is very interesting. So instead of like just picking up an objective and just removing it forever, now you can basically for a whole battle round you can just basically just say only certain units can actually contest this objective. Like if it's maybe, which to be perfectly honest, I can already tell already this is probably going to hurt like a few of those monster centric armies. Like for example, like Sons of Bahamut. Oh my, yeah, they are really going to hurt this because I'm not going to say that this is going to completely destroy them, but this is I could definitely see like a savvy player who knows how to time this properly can really kite a Sons of Bahamut army who are you're holding an objective. Well, guess what? Now that's the proving ground. You literally can't hold it now. Too bad. So yeah, that can be a bad one right there too. And they're even going into like detail how you can like utilize it. Like for example, choose an objective that's the proving ground that'll like force your opponent to have to send his more vulnerable units to take it, and or lure them away from other objectives in order to get this one. So yeah, that's pretty good. But now there's a follow up here too. So basically, what we're also getting is another ability called Bonds of Battle. So yeah, so let me just see. So it's fine. They can target. Okay, yeah. So this is the follow up one. So in addition to the proving grounds, there's also like a built-in ability called Bonds of Battle. And what basically this is this now all your Galatian veterans they can now they now have when they're making melee attacks, they're within range if they're in half an inch of another Galatian veterans from the same unit who's also within half an inch of an enemy unit. So just to clarify, that basically means is that this for this season of war, basically smaller infantry now have the 40k style weapons range in that they don't have to like every model doesn't have to be half an inch of an enemy unit. They're in range if they're within half an inch of a unit that's within half an inch of another unit in it. So let's just read it out. When a model in a Galatian Baron unit makes an attack with a melee weapon, you can target an enemy unit within half an inch of another model from that Galatian Baron's unit instead of using the weapon's range characteristic for that attack. If you do so, the attack model must be within half an inch of another model from its own unit that is within half an inch of the target. So in simplest terms here, you're just adding like you're just basically like increasing the range of basically of your of units weapons like weapons ranges to how they get into the unit, which like I said, if you've played 40k, it's basically just what that is too. So this is a big thing because this really can help a lot of units because especially in the new edition with like how coherency works, it just really kited a lot of models, especially ones with lower ranges, like only like range 1. It just meant like you could have like these big squads and like well over 2/3 of them sometimes could not just aren't within range because you can't they have like you need the 2 model coherency. Like I've talked about this before, so I think this is a really good thing. Now this is probably where that whole rumor that basically like 3 ranks could fight and like in that was the rumor that this was going to bring. So I don't think this isn't going to be quite to that level, but I think with proper positioning, you definitely could probably get 3 ranks to fight in. Like now, this would also depend on factors such as your positioning, the size of the bases that we're dealing with here. But this is a big boon, especially to smaller units, which personally I do feel were really hurting so far this edition, where they just they charge in, you lose it, like they couldn't get their attacks in and then they die. So it was like what was the point of bringing a very large squad? Like most of them couldn't attack anyway. You're better off just just cutting that squad up into smaller chunks so they could actually attack. But then again, that led to other problems because with the whole one go, you go, you probably lose 1 unit anyway before it even gets to attack. So you basically were losing the same amount of models anyway, no matter what you did. So that was a problem. And apparently there's a new universal command ability called Overwhelming Assault. This one, yeah, I don't know about this one. Like basically what it is that you can use this command ability at the end of the charge phase, and basically it has to go to a Galatian veterans unit that has 10 or more models. You can then pick an enemy unit within 1 that has a wounds character of 4 or less. Again, the whole theme is, it's obvious that, it have to be small enough to like fit in tunnels. And if the roll is greater than the number of models in the enemy unit, the strike last effect applies to that unit in the following combat phase. So the whole idea is that you have this overwhelming force attacking a much smaller one and just like overwhelming it so much they can't even fight back. So that like obviously the idea is that okay, you've got like a greatly depleted enemy unit, and then you just run it over. That's okay, but the problem is the fact is it's not automatic. You'll have to make a roll against the unit, and also this would also go and the only way this would even work is it'd have to be the unit has to be less than 6 models. So obviously the first thing that comes to mind is like bigger, like tankier squads, such as like, Bulgors or Ogres or, like Paladins for Stormcast Eternal. So, but the problem is I've never been a fan of command abilities that are dependent then on a random roll, because if it fails, okay, you just basically you just wasted a command point for nothing. And especially if you're running into, let's say, like a Bulgor squad, or like a Paladin squad, if that fails and you don't get a strike last, and you don't actually end up attacking before them, they could just punch your face and you'll never get to, and then you basically just lost a squad and wasted a command point for nothing. So I don't think this is. I don't know how much. I'm not sure how much this would actually be used with a competitive mindset. But it could be fun as a gimmick ability. So and it's useful for everyone. So there's that. And we're also getting new core battalions. So one will be called Expert Hunters. Make you more accomplished at holding objectives. While Bounty Hunters specialize in gutting opposing armies, they deal extra damage in melee when targeting enemy Galatian veterans. So Expert Conquerors basically means that each model in this battalion count as 3 models for the purposes of contesting objectives. So that's pretty good too. So this is probably, so again, this is where that rumor of battle line count is 3 in this battalion. So this can be pretty good too. Because like I said, it just crowds infantry right there. So that can fly down anything. So obviously bigger units can benefit from it, but for example, again, Bulgors, they could count as 3 instead of just 1. Obviously it would be a lot less useful on bigger things, who are I'm pretty sure 5 wound models can use this, but they're already counted as 2, so this counting as 3 isn't as big a deal. But smaller units, for example, Free Guild Guard or zombies, I think some people have brought up counting as 3 models each can be insane. Just imagine a giant swarm of zombies, and they each count as 3 models each when in contesting objectives this could be pretty big. But and honestly, and I would say it could even potentially maybe even OP in some circumstances. So that's probably why they included the Bounty Hunters one in order to counter this. Because okay, so all right, so you got that big squad of zombies on an objective. Okay, you got to get rid of it. So the Bounty Hunters is basically the counter to that. So, if you got a 40 wound thing of zombies and they'll count as 3, pretty much everything's got to die. So dealing extra damage against them is essential. So I'm kind of glad they actually did think this through a little bit, because sometimes I feel GW put in things that just seem, sometimes they put in stuff that seems cool, but don't really think through of the combinations. And I don't entirely blame them for that, because with so many models and rules in the game, it's easy to just forget stuff. So I'm glad they at least put some thought into how they're going to balance this. And there's going to be 12 new battle plans, 8 fresh battle tactics, and 6 Gala-focused grand strategies. Now, I've heard some rumors these just replace the ones from Thondia. I'm kind of wondering how much stuff from the original might still transfer over, but we'll have to see. All right, and also a new spell for all wizards fighting in Gala. Okay. I wonder again too. I kind of hope. I kind of like that they're getting a new spell, but I kind of hope the old Thondia one still sticks, because I kind of liked that one too. But I do understand. I would understand if it just is just gone. So, with rules for exploding realmstone caches, those must be claimed as objectives. Vast tunnel networks to ambush opponents through. Scuttling horrors offers a fresh. No, this is this is actually looking pretty interesting. Yeah, this could be a good season. So what else? The Generals Handbook is a spiral bound for ease of use, and also contains core rules for Age of Sigmar, up-to-date data rules for all universal special endless spells. Very nice. Plus tokens for attracting objectives and your current battle tactic. Very nice indeed. It's bundled in 34-page pitch battle profiles book with the latest points value, which will also be available online for free. Thank you very much, GW. I appreciate that. Now I've heard some of the rumors I've really been following is that Stormcast Eternals are going to get hit a bit. I don't know how much whether or not that's true. Though I do feel there's going to be definitely some point increases. Obviously, probably fulminators will be going up. I also feel like a lot of stuff definitely. I'm pretty sure what they're probably going to do is all shooting units, especially, will probably go up in points, especially the ones that do mortal wound output. But then again, that's still kind of just me thinking, because it technically doesn't go up for pre-order till this Saturday, so we can see then. There's little things at the bottom. I always love these. Gallet bugs range from fist size to automatically huge. The spider fan grots love it. Well, yeah, pretty much. Like if we were doing in tunnels, like that's pretty much the first thing that came to mind is spider fan grots. Like they almost scream tunnels almost more than the moon clamp do. And also, don't worry, you'll be stopping to your heart content with Hunters of the Heartlands gone. Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Hunters of the Heartlands is no longer a usable battalion. So that's a little that's unfortunate. Yeah, so if like obviously you probably all know it, but just to reiterate, that was basically the one that just made you immune to the effects of being targeted for monstrous rampages. It's unfortunate because it was very fluffy, but I do understand what they're trying to do because as you've seen right here, this whole edition, this whole not edition, but this whole season of war is all based around like somewhat smaller battle line and infantry. Because of that, you're giving them proving grounds, you're giving them the bonds of battle, you're giving this you're also giving them a whole bunch of new core battalions, also giving them like access to hunters in the heartland. That probably would be too much because obviously this because monsters like monsters might be taking a hit this one too. Now I'm wondering how bounty hunters work because if you can put monsters in bounty hunters, that could definitely alleviate some of the downsides of like for example expert conquerors. Because personally, honest, I think expert conquerors is actually an overall better battalion than hunters of the heartland is. Especially with the objective play, so to be fair, even if Hunters of the Heartland stays, I actually could see it just like not being like used anymore because I could just feel like this right here. I feel it would probably I think is especially depending on the army might just be like the go-to new core battalion. Like 3 models counting for the purposes like 1 model counting as 3 for contesting objectives. That's like I think that's way better than just ignoring monstrous rampages. So I'll take getting roared at any day if I count as 3 for 1. So overall, yeah, this is looking really interesting. Really helped infantry out a bit who are kind of lagging a bit. Proving grounds. Actually, I think proving grounds might actually even turn out to be an even more tactical addition than the old one where you just removed objectives because it seems to be because you're not actually removing the objective. You're just like making it so like only certain things can contest it on any given battle round. So I think that's a really cool addition. This one I don't know about. I'm just not seeing it, but maybe I'm wrong. And I'm kind of liking the core battalions, but I would like to see what is actually necessary and what can actually go into bounty hunters because I hope monsters can because this was really going to be that would really be essential for like I said Sons of Bahamut who don't have any access to this and like believe it or not if they don't for all their big talk about like being the kings of objectives with like expert conquerors coming in their whole monopoly on objective taking might actually be coming under threat here because like I said 130-man unit of free guard that's now counting as 90 models like eat your heart out Sons of Bahamut.